You see it everywhere, right? Images of wealth, perfect vacations, new cars. But what's actually going on behind the curtain? In this explainer, we're going to cut through all that noise and look at the hard data behind the average American's finances. We're going to find out what normal really looks like for your money. You know that feeling. You're scrolling through your phone late at night, you see all these perfectly curated lives, and that little voice in your head starts up. Am I falling behind? Am I doing this wrong? It's that classic late-night financial anxiety. Well, what if I told you that entire feeling is based on an illusion? Okay, here's the big secret. Most of what you see, it's not real. That perception of wealth is often just that, a perception. The reality is, most people are just trying to keep up appearances, and they're doing it with a whole lot of smoke, mirrors, and debt. All right, so let's stop guessing and get down to business. We're going to use real data from places like the Bureau of Labor Statistics and the Federal Reserve to pull back the curtain and show you the truth behind this financial illusion of normal. It all starts right here with income. So the median gross annual income, that means the dead middle for a full-time worker in the U.S., is right around $52,000. If you're making that, you are, statistically speaking, normal. But that's just the starting line, not the finish. Yeah, about that 52 grand, you don't actually get to keep all of it. Not even close. Before you can even think about spending it, you've got federal taxes, Social Security, and Medicare taking a huge bite. And then, depending on where you live, state and local taxes come along and shrink that number even more. And this right here is where the math just completely falls apart. The average take-home pay is around $40,000, but the average household is spending $67,000 a year. I mean, think about that. That's a $27,000 deficit. This is exactly why so many people feel like they're spinning their wheels and getting absolutely nowhere. This is where the real trouble begins. So that begs the question, right? If we're spending so much more than we bring home, where in the world is all that money going? Let's do an autopsy on the average paycheck and find out what's really draining our bank accounts. Now, just look at this for a second. Housing and transportation. We call them the big two, and they are just devouring the average budget. We're talking almost $2,800 a month gone before you even buy a single gallon of milk or think about saving a penny. For most people, it's a financial chokehold. And when you're spending more than you make, this is what happens. This is the inevitable results. $9,000 in high-interest credit card debt. And let's be clear, this isn't good debt like a mortgage. This is the worst kind. It's money you spent on stuff that's long gone, and now it's costing you hundreds in interest every single month. It's a silent killer. You know what's really dangerous, though? The average FICO score is 715, which is technically good. And this gives people a totally false sense of security. You can have a good score while being completely buried in debt just as long as you keep making those minimum payments. It's a trap the banks love. So let me just say it again. A good credit score does not mean you are financially healthy. So, with all that money flying out the door for expenses and debt, what's left over to actually save? Yeah, not much. The personal savings rate in the U.S. is just hanging on at a critically low 6%. At that rate, you'd have to work for more than 16 years just to save up enough to cover 1 year of your expenses. You simply cannot build wealth that way. It's impossible. This tiny savings rate has a huge domino effect, and it all comes crashing down when we look at the most alarming number of all: retirement. What does the future actually look like for the average American? Well, it's not pretty. Okay, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. The median savings for someone who's 65 or older is about $88,000. Now, if you use the standard safe 4% withdrawal rule, that provides an income of just $293 a month, per month. That's less than $10 a day. Just let that sink in for a minute. Okay, I know. Those numbers are grim. They're bleak. But the goal here isn't to scare you. It's to empower you. Because once you know what average really is, you finally have the map to escape it. So let's talk about the actual actionable blueprint to get you to financial freedom. Here it is, your 5-step escape plan. First, and this is huge, you have to reject consumerism. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. Trust me, the Joneses are broke. Second, attack the big two. Get aggressive on your housing and transportation costs. Even small cuts there free up thousands of dollars a year. Third, you have to intentionally create a gap, a 20% gap between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is where wealth is built. Fourth, you put that money to work for you using the magic of compound interest. And finally, you build your own plan. Don't count on Social Security. Treat it like a nice surprise bonus, not a safety net.
And if you need any motivation, just look at this chart. This is the incredible power of time. Investor A starts saving $500 a month at age 45. They end up with a respectable $260,000. Not bad. But look at investor B. Starts at 25, invests the exact same $500 a month, and ends up with over $1.2 million. It's the same effort, just a different timeline. The most valuable dollar you will ever invest is the one you invest today.
So when you boil it all down, this whole thing really just comes down to a choice. It's a decision you have to make about what kind of future you're going to build for yourself. Because either way you go, it's going to require effort.
This really is the core message of everything we've talked about. Being broke when you're 65 is hard. I mean, it's an incredibly difficult way to live. But you know what? Saving money today is also hard. Being disciplined and saying no to things you want right now, that's hard too. You just have to choose your hard. You can pick the pain of discipline now or the pain of regret later. The choice is yours.
And here's the best part. You don't have to be a financial genius to do this. You don't need to win the lottery. You just have to be consistently, maybe even a little boringly, better than average. Save 15% instead of 6%. Drive your car for a few more years. It's those small, consistent actions, day after day, that build extraordinary wealth over time. So, I'll leave you with one final, crucial question. Looking at all this data, knowing what you now know about the financial reality of being normal, what is the one change, just one, that you will make, starting today, to beat the average?